First, we thank you for this opportunity for us to be together, for us to share healing energy, for us to send that energy to those who have asked for a healing in our healing basket, and the intentions of those who have reached out to us on the internet, and those that we have in our mind, that we're holding in our mind right now, and thought to ourselves, oh no, I didn't put them in the healing basket, and that's okay, because the intention is set for them. And we know that the intention for the whole creation is whole and healed, and we thank you for that reminder. We ask that you be with us so that we have ears to hear, eyes to see the truth, and an open heart to share what it is that we need to share with others. And so it is. There we go. Okay. So I incorporated the healing basket in with our opening prayer so that we can move forward. We have a lot of people here today, which is awesome.
Okay.
And keeping that in mind, we need a bigger space soon, which is nice, but frightening a little bit.
I know a great real estate agent.
I know. And so the lesson for this morning is, Am I God? And this is inspired by one of my teachers, because I always thought that this was an interesting subject from a metaphysical perspective. And she, in fact, believes that she is God. And I thought about that for the longest time while I was under her tutelage as a student. And I wondered about that in the perspective of metaphysical philosophy, and then as a theologian with some of the studying that I've done in ancient scripture and ancient knowledge. And I have to say, very honestly, we are not agreeing. We are not God. There's a big difference between being the God of your reality and being the divine being that has created the entire universe. There's a far stretch there, guys. There's a far stretch there. Yes, we are co-creators with the eternal universal intelligence. That is true, without a doubt. And we create our own experience. And that is really important too, through the choices that we make, through the words that we use, through the intention that we send out. But the reality is, I did not put the stars and fix them in the heavens, and the galaxies upon galaxies and universes upon universes that exist. I did not do that. I know that with every fiber of my being. And I know that if we examine ourselves in all truthfulness, that we know that about ourselves.
I did it on the ceiling of my
yeah, there you go. We do put those little stars up there for our kids in the nursery, which is nice.
I did it for me.
Yeah, that's creating our universe. But it is interesting because, you know, there's that duality in co-creation that can be confusing. Yes, we co-create our reality, but we co-create our reality as a group, not just as an individual. We create our social structure. We create our world and the way that it views each other. So then, of course, we're going to also create the reality about ourselves, the way that we view ourselves as in a opposition to the way that others view us. Yeah? Because quite often people will say, really? I didn't see that about you at all. You know, I think I'm really loud. You know, I have a very loud voice, and you're right, I move around a lot. I'm from New Jersey, that's how we do. And other people have said, oh no, I think you're very reserved. In fact, you're real serious all the time. And I think that's funny because I'm really kind of goofy and I'm not serious at all. So the way that we see ourselves, the way that we see our universe, the way that we see our society, the way that we see our world, the way that we see and feel our relationship with the divine source of all things, all those factors play into our co-creation. They all play into our co-creation. And so, how do we change that? How do we become the God of our reality? Not the God, the eternal God, but the God of our reality. How do we change things for the positive? How do we become a better person? How do we change the world? How do we change the universe? How do we raise the vibration of others and ourselves? Well, first we start with us. Yeah, we always start with us. Our 4 feet that we can control, and then we expand that to our sphere of influence, right? We want to share with others. You know, last week we had Peter talking about how he was talking to the cashier at the store and changed her vibration, changed her attitude, changed the way that she was viewing her day, just with the smallest things that we do. So what happens when we do large things? It's like throwing a boulder into the lake. And so it does change the surface of the lake. It changes everything. So we are co-creating in our manifestation, we are co-creating in our behavior, we are co-creating in our attitudes, and we all start this at the seat of all motivation, our heart, what we harbor in our heart, what we're thinking about, what we're cultivating, what we're nurturing, those things that move from our heart into our mouth, and then we share them with others. So if people are saying to you, you're negative, and bad things are happening to you all the time, geez, do you know someone like that? I do. I think we all know one person like that, unfortunately. They're just always bad things are happening to them. And it just seems endless. You know, we say, oh, things come in threes. Well, for this person, they come in nines. Right?
High lives.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And so, and you're always saying to them, well, you know, if you would just change your mind. So really they need to change their heart. They need to change their heart and then change the words that they're saying that create their reality. Then that changes their mind. I had one of the students here at the temple say to me one day, well, I'm not really sure I can do that. I'm not really sure that I can affect my reality, co-create with Source and with Spirit the way that you can. Well, I mean, I do to the best of my ability, and things don't always work out the way that I want them to. I'm not perfect. But you know what? Everybody can do that. You can do it. It's just doing it. And if you don't think you can do it, then fake it till you make it.
That's mine.
That's right? So yeah. And he remembers that. And it's a serious thing. It's kind of like going through the motions and building routine, a ritual. I'm going to say good things. I'm going to say nice things. I'm going to say positive things. I'm going to share wonderful things with other people. I'm going to say good things about myself. Women, we are especially bad at this. I am so big. I am not exercising the way that I should. Boy, my gray hair is driving me crazy. Whatever it is. Oh no, is that what she was playing with your hair?
No, we were just talking about it.
Yes, we were. So all these things, you know, because we live in a societal structure that is created, co-created, and then we try and live up to that, and we can't possibly do that. It's not a realistic creation. So we need to change that. So how do we change that? And it has happened in the last, I would say in the last 5 years, there's been a big shift toward the real woman, the average size 14. You know, nobody is believing that they need to be a 00 anymore. No one's looking at supermodels and saying, yeah, that's normal. No, we know that's not normal. I mean, but at one time, that was the standard of beauty, and that is not the standard of beauty anymore. So we have changed that reality. And how did we do that? We did that by accepting the fact that this is the way that things are in our creation. Big is beautiful. Right? Amen. That's it. Amen. That's it. We're all beautiful. Small is beautiful. We're all beautiful because we celebrate each other. We accept each other. We see this wonderful change in the way that people look at each other and relate to each other and interact with each other, especially in this community. Especially in this community, we celebrate the differences of everybody. Does that create our reality? Yes, because it creates the reality here. Is there ever any time that someone walks into our door and we're like, ew, look who came in. Can you believe who came in? You will never see that here. Never. It's always, wow, who's that? You know, curiosity first, acceptance second. We want to know you. We want to get to know you. We want to celebrate you. And so we are changing the world. We are co-creating in our heart, using the power of our word, and then demonstrating that in our behavior every single day. Demonstrating it in our behavior every single day. So when that person cuts you off, I'm going to hold you to this. When you want to so badly just go, I'm going to kill them. You know, you can't. You're not going to kill them. You're not going to kill them. You're not going to yell at them. You're not going to roll down your window. You're going to think to yourself, well, maybe they got someplace they got to be as badly as I've got someplace that I've got to be, or maybe worse. So you let it go. Change your mind and change your life. It's that simple. Change your heart and change your entire reality. So am I God? No, I am not God. I am not God. but I am the God of my reality. I can change the things around me with the help of Holy Spirit and the power of the divine source, the universal intelligence and mind. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody have a question about that? Does anybody disagree?
When I move water, I'm not God. I was just saying.
No.
No. I won't clean the pool.
You won't clean the pool anymore? That's what that was all about. You know what that was all about. Okay.
I think that,
Jeremy?
I think if we're going to say that we're a part of God, you have to say you're the whole. You can't say that the soul is omnipresent. The flesh isn't.
And that's true. As we are connected to each other, we are connected to the universal mind, we're connected to universal intelligence, but we are not the antagonist to the creation of the universe. Although we are aware, we are not the supreme creator, but we are shared. That source, that's why we call it source, because it came from someplace. It came from somewhere. We all came from someplace. Where did that come from? And so from there, that's shared with each and every single one of us, and that connects us to each
Because
other.
the supreme source is all of us.
Well, the supreme source, there is a source, like a spring, and from the spring comes all this wonderful water.
I view us as one cell in that spring.
Right. Exactly.
One molecule in the spring.
Right.
That's what I was going to say.
But we are still part of the
We're all
stream.
DNA of God.
Yes, but we're all in this. We are still part of the stream. We are still part of the spring. And we're aware of each and everything else that's going on with every other individual part of the stream and the spring. It's not a complicated thing to understand. It really isn't.
I always like to say God is one big pie, and we're all pieces of that pie. But
Yes.
we have the personality, ingredients of the whole. So, like you were saying, we're the whole, yet not the whole, but we are actually the whole.
We are part of the.
As-
we are
as
part
all-
of the puzzle.
And
Yes.
we're like collective soul. We're individual souls. We're like a collective soul.
I like pie too.
You like pie too? You like pie too? Are you going to sing the pie song?
Kick some pies, kick some pies.
Well, this is what I was inspired to share with you this morning, because I thought it was really important, because I kind of felt like this individual that shared this with me felt like they could do and say whatever they pleased. They could step on whoever they wanted, because why? I'm God. And I can.
Omnipotent.
And that is not the right attitude to have about your divinity as a human being, your special connectedness. In fact, it's just the opposite. We kind of talked about that last week. You know, really what you should be doing is serving the whole.
Then they don't
That's
fully
what it's
understand
about.
who God is.
Yeah. So that is why this has become the subject for this lesson this morning. So I will leave that with you with its blessing.